Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Just Plain Living. I'm John Gray.
Hi, I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
How are you guys?
And it is November.
Isn't it beautiful outside?
And it is outstanding
We need
weather.
to be recording out front on the step.
Well, it's still just a little bit cool. We do this in the morning, and it's a little bit cool for that out there, probably. Plus, we'd have to move all our stuff out
I know.
there.
Yeah.
I love this time of year, though.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's really nice.
Which tells you how long we've been doing this, because used to, you didn't hesitate to move the whole doggone set somewhere.
just get up and
at
go.
the last minute.
Get up and go with it, right?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we did it the first day that we shot here.
Yeah.
Peggy and I told Julia, said, we're going to open that door and go outside, follow us.
And we did.
And we did, went out there and sat in the rocking
Yeah.
chair. So no, we still do that kind of stuff from time to time, but we're a little bit slower at it than we used to be.
Nah.
Yeah, y'all got to realize that we started this back in 1990.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
so.
But it's still, what a wonderful time of year, and I will stand on the stump that I stand on every year. I love Thanksgiving, the forgotten holiday.
This week, I forgot which day it was. It's probably yesterday because this is just Tuesday. But anyway, I looked out my window and the sun was coming down and the trees were beautiful, and I counted 30 turkeys and then 2 of the big ones, the males with their feathers all out. That was just
At your house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were right up against the house. Usually they don't
Well,
come
you
that
have
close.
you have a pretty good sized front yard that goes down to the road.
Right, and they
it's-
dissipate really fast. You know, they come and they go, but they kind of lumber along and they look like they're eating stuff out of the grass. But the big ones, the males, I don't see them often. It's a beautiful sight.
Oh yeah, they.
And no, I don't want you coming to my house and shooting my turkeys.
And I guess this is turkey season, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
It
sure
is.
it is.
Yeah.
People can come and get the snakes out of your pool. If you're a snake person, she'll be glad to see you, but don't be coming after the turkeys.
That's right.
It's a tough time of year for a turkey.
Yeah, and snakes
Yeah, it
get a
is.
bad rap. I've got a fine
But
black
you still
snake.
don't like them.
Well, I'm not crazy about them, but I have a black snake named Jake out in the
Jake?
garage. Yeah.
He keeps the rats out of the garage.
Yeah, he stays in the back room. He never bothers me. He just once in a while I'll see his skin, so that's why I know he's there.
Yeah. Do you feed Jake?
No.
Jake
Jake finds
hunts.
food. He hunts
Yeah.
rats and stuff.
Yeah, Jake hunts.
He's a hunter. Everybody
that
should have a
something?
good black snake.
But there's Christmas stuff everywhere. Halloween's become such a big holiday, and everybody's into Halloween big time. And then
Yeah.
it's Christmas is on the shelf, and you can't
What
go
happened to
by
November? Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving stuff anywhere.
No, that makes me sad.
I wonder if Hallmark even still makes Thanksgiving cards. They probably do.
I think they're into making movies now. And stuff.
Well, that's true too. They might not be making. Look at those roses, aren't those pretty?
They're beautiful.
My wife brought those to
It
me.
doesn't take Walmart long to make a movie.
You mean
all the
Hallmark?
plot,
Hallmark.
I mean Hallmark, not
Hallmark,
Walmart, sorry. Hallmark, because they all have the same plot,
That's
just
what
about.
I told my wife.
Yeah, it's the same story.
I constantly go in at night, and she's watching them. She has to have seen them before.
It's addictive.
Because they start doing these Christmas movies
Yeah.
back about June or something like that, and they play them all through Christmas. And they're good movies. I'm not putting that
The worst
down,
part,
but it's
though,
like-
is there's
it's-
always, go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's like what you just said. To me, they're all
The
about
plot
the same.
is
They're
the
all
same.
the same. Yeah.
And one of the things I hate is somebody will be right at the altar fixing to marry somebody, and somebody comes tearing in and stops the wedding, and they go running off, and so the bride doesn't marry the groom, she marries the other guy.
Right.
And that's supposed to be the happy ending. I mean, somebody's unhappy there.
Or they've just finally decided they're in love, and one of them does something stupid.
Well, that's always part of the plot, right?
Yeah.
And then they break up, and then they have cocoa. You know that when the cocoa comes out,
Things are getting better.
It's about 5 to 7 minutes till the end of the movie.
Yeah.
They have cocoa, and then they kiss, and then it fades away to
And it's
nothing.
all
It's
over.
kind of like a soap opera. ain't it?
Yeah, it
And
is.
there's a soap opera, and I don't remember the name of it. And again, we're not putting you down if you
No,
like it.
no,
Absolutely.
it's
if you
a-
like it, let's go for it.
I'm sure it's a stress reliever.
But there's a soap opera that comes on sometime around noon, and I just so that's usually when I'm having lunch. It's always on in the office, and so I thought the other day, I just realized that this one family of women, they've been married and stuff,
Yeah.
but I forget their names before they got married, has at some point or other had an affair with every
Every
man
one of them.
in this other family, and one of them I know has had an affair with the daddy, 3 brothers, the same woman, and I'm thinking, and this is a very popular soap opera, so I guess that's what women like.
I was in the hospital when I had a shoulder separation at my senior year in high school, St. Thomas, the old red brick building downtown, and they had televisions in there, and I had to watch a soap opera for a week, and so I watched it, and then I didn't watch it because I left. But for some reason, about a month later, I was somewhere, and that same soap opera was on, and it was still the same day in that soap opera than it was a month ago.
Right.
A month ago it was lunchtime, and now it's dinner time the same day, and it's a month later.
And by the same token, you'll have kids that are born to somebody who had an affair.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's pretty prevalent. And then 2 days later, that kid is about 9 years old.
Yeah.
So, it's.
Then the
it
next
works
day,
both
that-
ways.
It works, yeah, it's crazy.
The time, you can make time, just
You
whatever
can do whatever you want to with
whatever
it.
you need to,
But what's funny is when I was a kid and I would go down to farm down in South Louisiana, where my Uncle Clark and all of the people who worked on the farm, it's hot down there and it's sweaty, and they go to work when the sun comes up, and about 11 o'clock in the morning, they come in. Granny would have lunch made for all of them because she fed them all lunch. And they would come in and go into the living room, and I'd say, Uncle Clark, where are you going? You're not going. No, he said, I got to watch my shows.
And so
They would go in and watch. These men, grown, hard-working men,
Yeah.
would go and
Soap
sit
opera.
in the cool under the ceiling fan for 2 or 3 hours during the hottest part of the day and watch soap operas till it cooled back off, and then they go back and work till dark.
It's amazing. I think it was as addictive as Facebook is today.
Oh, absolutely.
There was a young person in my choir in San Antonio, Texas, many years ago, and they don't live here. So anyway, she called me one day, and she was just sobbing over the phone, and she was a young married person, and I said, what's wrong? And she said, it's her husband. And I said, well, what happened to her husband? She said, well, he's died. Well, I said, well, I am so sorry, and I was just being so, and it was a soap opera.
Yeah,
And she was just distressed.
yeah, they shot JR.
Yeah, that's right.
Dallas.
Well, a lot of men watch these too. I mean, because I remember at one time I watched, I don't remember the name of the program, but one of the lead guys in it was named Stefano. And then
Uh-oh.
Days of Our Lives.
Uh-oh,
Juliet
that
said.
name right there is going to get him in trouble.
Well, Stefano was kind of one of the villains.
Of course he
Very-
was.
Yeah,
very
right.
rich guy. And Stefano got killed at least 6 times. I mean, at least 6 times, and he always came back. You'd think he's dead. He got blew up.
Right.
And
But he
some
somehow
bomb
had
explosion. You
escaped.
thought that's the end of Stefano.
No.
And you think, well, I'm glad he's gone. He was an evil character, And the next thing you know, about a month later, here's Stefano,
Stefano
back. He's
back.
reincarnated.
Sort of like Clint Eastwood in a lot of those old westerns. You know, they
Right.
hang him, they
Yeah.
shoot him.
Right.
You couldn't kill him.
Right.
Die hard.
Right.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Well,
hey,
not to knock the soap operas. There's some
Oh,
people
no.
that
Oh.
they can't get out, and they are lonely, and that is their life,
But it-
and that's okay.
But it changed. That whole thing changed into Friends and Seinfeld.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, there were those type shows that grew out of the soap opera deal where somebody with a little intelligence said, look, people fall in love with the cast. And if we put the right cast together,
Yeah.
then people are going to follow this, and they're not. And that's when these shows with 7 and 8 stars came into place, where there was somebody anybody watching could love.
I love The Office.
You know, The Office and those shows like that all stemmed from soap operas.
They're just all so ridiculous.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
The Office. It makes
Hey,
me
we've
laugh.
got a couple of important things we need
Oh,
to
what are
talk
we here
about. We're here.
What,
to-
are we on
The
TV?
Link, Local
Yeah, we're on TV.
Information Network.
Right.
You know, we're here to tell a story, our story. And one thing we need for you to remember is that will be Thursday night, November the 11th, at 6 to 9 p.m. at the. Let's see, that would be at the THS cafeteria is our next meeting for Think Tullahoma 2040. And that's when they will have a preliminary plan that will be presented, and then they will take input from the audience. This is probably going to be your last or not last, because it's never last. The plan will change from
Yeah,
time
right.
to time. But this will be a good opportunity for you to,
Have
if
your
you
input.
have another idea, that you can have some input there. And then on November the 15th, and this will be at the, where is that? Be a part of the team. Where is it? Doesn't say. That'll be at the high school auditorium. And that's will the overview of the existing conditions, and then the methodology of the plan, and then what the results will be of the completed plan.
And I want to make sure everybody knows that the program for the veterans is at the South Jackson Civic Center at 11 o'clock Thursday.
On Thursday.
This Thursday.
This Thursday.
We welcome everybody to come.
And let's see what else we have here. 12 Angry Jurors, and this is a play by the Tullahoma High School, and this is going to be November the 11th, 12th, and 13th at 7:30 p.m., and then on November 13th and 14th, 13th and 14th. Well, that's different. Oh, 13th and 14th, it will also be at 3 p.m.
Oh, okay.
So they're not doing a Sunday night, they're just doing a Sunday matinee. That's why it wasn't in the upper. So you have a Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then a Saturday and Sunday matinee. $15 for adults, $10 for seniors and veterans, $5 for children under 12, and students and faculty are free with a school ID. So go see some of our young people. There we go. There's the flyer for it right there. Go see some of our young people at the high school doing a play, and they have a new director in that
good.
department. So I tried to get them to come on, but they're busy.
They're very busy.
And so
Everybody's busy.
everybody busy.
Everybody got business.
Everybody got business to do.
Business to do, right.
Business
Well,
to
I
do.
want to mention the Young Artist Showcase at South Jackson on November 21st, Sunday afternoon, 2:30. These are exceptional young
Young
musicians.
people.
There's 9 of them, and it'll be about an hour program. We'd love for you to come.
Right, and this Friday night, Tullahoma High School Wildcats are in the second round of the playoffs, and they will be playing Montgomery Central, who we played in the regular season and won against them, but it's the playoffs now, and I think the first time we played them, they did not have one of their good running backs who is back, but we also didn't have a couple of our good players that will be back in this game. And if we win that game, we'll play again right here in Tullahoma. The thing that's cool about this is as long as we keep winning all the way to the state championship in Chattanooga, we play. Everybody has to come to Tullahoma.
Cool.
Yes.
The championship, as long as we win, comes through Tullahoma.
That is awesome.
And John Olive explained why that is, and one of the reasons is because Tullahoma won their district.
Right.
And then there's some other extenuating circumstances about they alternate between
this and that.
You probably know that.
And also we're number 2 in the state in
Right.
in 4A.
Is this senior class? Is this the winningest senior class?
Winningest
Ever, isn't
senior
it?
class ever.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And of course they've been undefeated for 2 years in a row, and then
Right.
the year before that they didn't lose much.
Right.
So and like John said on the show, and you can watch the John Olive fifth quarter shows on our YouTube channel, channel 6, or the link channel 6, the number 6, youtube.com/that, or on our Facebook page at News Leader. So, and John discusses a lot of this stuff. Not only is it football, but this group of young people coming through right now have done better in all sports.
Right. And a lot of
Baseball,
They're just,
volleyball,
excel in every
track.
level.
There are people who have excelled. Golf,
Yeah.
tennis. There's people. It's just an outstanding class.
and a lot of them play multiple sports.
Right.
Particularly basketball and football. I
And
think.
baseball.
And baseball.
You
So
got
they're-
Brody Melton, who was injured. Brody played this past week, and he's back. And he was down somewhere being looked at for colleges for
Already?
baseball in Chattanooga. He was at some
That's
big deal
wonderful.
this past weekend. So these kids do a lot. And we have merit scholars that play on our football team and our baseball teams. And this is a unique place where we live.
Place. Yes, it is.
Unique, as they say, as unique as its name.
Is Brody Milton's dad Sam Milton?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No
And
wonder
Amy.
Right, that's a good
yeah.
background.
I thought that was
Amy
the case.
Morris.
Amy Morris.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, and that's one of our good sponsors over there at the Star Therapy.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
Sound of Music is on again this weekend.
yeah, South Jackson.
It's got some fabulous actors and actresses in it. Samantha Waters doing the lead. She's fabulous.
And then Dr. Potts will have a show on Alzheimer's on the
That's
the
the
what?
20th.
The 20th.
The night of the 20th.
Night of the 20th at South Jackson. It's a free event, and it's about art and music and the human mind. And it's being underwritten by the hospital in Winchester. So
Which
it's a
is
free
very,
event.
very kind, and this guy is fabulous.
Yeah, very good.
And,
Very good.
And all of you people that have mental illness or Alzheimer's or whatever in your family, take them out, take them to the art center.
Yeah.
Encourage them to draw or whatever.
Right.
It's
So
important.
it's and he's bringing art, and Fran has gone around and found art done by people with dementia
Wonderful.
that will be on display at South Jackson and at the Fine Arts Center as well.
That should you think she'll leave that up for the Young Artist Showcase? That
I'm
would
sure
be
she
nice.
will.
That would be nice. So
Unless somebody tells her she needs to clean up her mess.
well,
She usually doesn't leave a mess.
no, she doesn't. She
But
doesn't.
no, I'm sure that would be acceptable if and there will be someone there before that show playing a harp in the front room to where people can view the art, and there'll be some music
I
there.
love that, and hardly ever do we get to see a harp.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's a
don't see
wonderful
that
thing.
much,
No,
do you?
Yeah.
I wish I could play a harp.
Yeah. Me too.
So it's a good deal. It's a good
It's
deal.
a real good deal. Lots happening.
Veterans.
I have
Thank
veterans
you,
all over
veterans.
my family.
I've done this before, but I'm going
That's
to do
all
it
right.
again
Do
anyway.
it again.
From the caves of Afghanistan to the swamps of Vietnam, hand in hand they stand between evil and our home. Fighting through the ages, from independence to World War II, were brave men and women who did what they had to do. The greatest generation without question gave its all, from the beaches of Normandy till the day of Hitler's fall. The infantry, the navy, the boys that had to fly, many went and came back, but many had to die, and gladly gave their life for the world and their nation. God bless the veterans of the greatest generation. Now every day the USA's soldiers stand the wall. All around the world they answer the call. Replace those who went and didn't make it home, and honor the World War vets before they're all gone. Yes, the greatest generation without question gave its all, from the beaches of Normandy till the day of Hitler's fall. The infantry, the navy, the boys that had to fly, many went and came back, but many had to die, and gladly gave their life for the world and their nation. God bless the veterans of the greatest generation. Yes, they fought for freedom, for the world, for their nation. God bless the veterans of the greatest generation.
It's nice, John.
Yeah, very
You should
good.
read it every day.
And I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran of life, allowing me to be vetted in many disciplines. Veteran of an above average public education, a hobbled veteran of numerous sports teams, veteran of several self-serving religious dogmas, and a couple that actually understood the mission. Veteran of many nonprofit organization involvements and several business ventures that turned out to be nonprofit. A veteran creative, where money doesn't equal success. Veterans of interaction, a veteran of interaction with two families and a long marriage. Enough said. I'm a veteran of many things, and proudly I'm a veteran of the United States Army National Guard. That puts me in a group of selfless individuals who have served our country, sacrificing life and limb to secure the freedom that allows us all to be veterans of whatever we choose in America. I'm proud to be a veteran and thank those brothers and sisters who have served. Happy Veterans Day to all of you. We'll be right back after these messages.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
MacArthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at MacArthur Manor, we'll treat you like family.
Caring.
Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest.
Engaging.
With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at MacArthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good, nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was honored, my wife Fran and I were honored last week to be invited to the Manchester Chamber of Commerce meeting, and where Becky Buller was honored. Our friend, one of my personal superheroes, Becky Buller, was honored by a picture wall being permanently displayed at the conference center. There's a wall over there at this point that has drawings by Don Northcott, which is one of the most talented pictured landscape people that's ever been around here, and of old buildings and log cabins and stuff. And there's a wall over there dedicated to him. Well, now there's a wall dedicated to IBMA superstar Becky Buller, and we went over there to meet some folks and greet at the Chamber of Commerce meeting, and Becky's pictures were shown and dedicated, and Becky played a little music, and I just happened to bring a camera with me. Imagine that. Let's go see what happened at the Becky Buller honoring of her picture wall. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the Manchester Conference Center right now, and this is their Chamber of Commerce meeting, monthly meeting, and we are here to celebrate a wall of pictures that are going to be dedicated to our friend and my personal superhero, Becky Buller. There she is right there. And so this is a day that's going to be about the Vexter B3, and we're going to celebrate with her and see what goes on today. I know one thing for sure, I bet you we're going to hear some good music. There's the Becky Buller I know right there. In comfortable shoes.
And I'm trying to, Brandy Carlisle my shoes.
Brandy Carlisle their shoes.
And I've got a poor rambling boy shirt.
I love it, I love it.
A shout out to all of them.
Hey Beck, what's this all about today?
Well, I'm being honored by the Manchester, Tennessee Chamber of Commerce and the Coffee County Conference Center here in Manchester. They are dedicating a wall of pictures to me, and I'm just so honored and blessed and flabbergasted that they would do this.
And deserved.
Oh, thank you.
There's Jeff over there. Glad to see Jeff. Some of these cats are on stage with Becky at church the other day. You noticed that.
First Baptist Church.
And then there's her sidekick down there. He's going to be performing with her today, I'm sure. Hey, look at there. Look at these good-looking guys. And these are the pictures, and this is the stuff that is being donated, and a wall that will be located of pictures in the Manchester Conference Center of our friend, Grand Ole Opry performer, IBMA award winner, Grammy award winning compiler, the wonderful, the brilliant, the exciting Becky Buller. You want to see Becky Buller at her finest? She's off the ground and getting it.
Sometimes we grow blinders to the wonderful things in our own community. Becky Buller is a transplant, an asset, and a wonderful thing in our community. She's also an instrumentalist, singer, songwriter, and producer who has traveled the globe. performing bluegrass music. Her compositions can be heard on records by Ricky Skaggs, Rhonda Vincent, Doyle Lawson and Quicksilver, just to name a few. Becky has written songs for Grammy Award-winning albums and co-wrote many more. Becky is the recipient of 10 International Bluegrass Music Association awards and has been nominated for a Grammy. She lives here, guys. She tours extensively with Becky Bueller Band and just released her third album. Becky is also a member of the First Ladies of Bluegrass, an all-female ensemble. Equally passionate about bluegrass music education, Becky has over 20 years experience teaching fiddle, I keep calling it a violin, singing and songwriting, both privately and at workshops and camps around the world. She currently serves on the IBMA Foundation. Becky proudly calls Manchester, Tennessee, her adopted hometown where she lives with her husband Jeff and daughter Romy, home. Becky's wall is, the picture's located over here, and it will be permanently located just like Dawn Northcutt's in the hallway. We usually have 44,000 annual visitors when it's not a COVID year, so there will be a significant impact of her legacy on bluegrass within our community and our region and state when people visit. So with that being said, I would like to introduce or welcome Becky Bueller up to the front.
Probably ramble, and I'll probably cry. Yeah, crying, definitely crying. I'm so honored. And this was completely unexpected. I'm so grateful, and I'm so blessed to live here, and I'm so proud to call Manchester my adopted hometown. I've been here for almost 13 years when Jeff and I married. I married one of the two Jeff Haleys in town. I married the Jeep Jeff Haley. Wave your hand. Thank you. That one. And I have to thank Dennis Platt over here because he helped introduce me to Jeff. So Dennis, if you'll wave, thank you for being here. Donna too. I'm originally from St. James, Minnesota, and all my family's up there, and I'm just so blessed in my Tennessee family and friends here, and I'm just grateful to everybody that came out special. I'm gonna go ahead and sing a couple of songs for you. We recorded a video for this song at Cutshaw's Barbershop when it was at the corner of 41 and 55 here in Manchester, and we have a couple stars of that video with us today. Is Jake still here, or did he have to leave? He had to leave. Oh gosh, Pastor Jake Dorak from First Baptist shows up at the end of that video as the grown-up fiddler. But we've also got our barber here, Mr. Ray Seckler. Can you wave at everybody, Ray? He says that he's been getting lots of calls, people asking him to give them a haircut. This song, I'm so proud to say, this song is on my latest album with Dark Shadow Recording. It's called Distance in Time. Just celebrated its first birthday at Project Donuts on October 30th. And it won the 2020 IBMA Collaborative Recording of the Year. We have a bunch of guest singers on there, friends and heroes of mine, but we also had 18 fiddlers total on that track, and somehow Mojo was able to get all those 18 fiddlers in the video. So I hope that you will go to my website, BeckyBueller.com, and Bueller spelled just like it sounds, B as in boy, U-L-L-E-R, BeckyBueller.com, and go to the video tab, and the Barber's Fiddle video should be one of the first things that pops up. So I'll sing it for you now. Mr. Jean's Barbershop, State Street, the Virginia side. Walked in hand in hand with Pop, 5 years old and terrified. Mr. Jean smiled at me, helped me up into the chair. In the mirror I could see an old red fiddle hanging there. Gray-haired barber caught my gaze, said that's a tale I'd like to tell.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make your style. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman, sometime known as Blinky.
And this is Pat Welch, sometime known as Scratchy. And we're here today with the segment 91 of the Conversation with John and Pat. And we're working on those nervous habits, John. We've been called out by our wives, and I'm going to stop scratching. I've got a death grip on these arms here, and we may toothpick your eyeballs to keep you from blinking.
We're going to do a little song that Harry Carey used to sing at the 7th inning of the ball game. Harry Carey was it Cubs?
Cubs. Middle of the 7th inning stretch.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the park. Buy me some popcorn and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. Oh, it's root for the Wildcats. If they don't win, it's a shame. 'Cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. That was short and sweet, Pat.
Harry is somewhere smiling on that, John. That was magnificent.
You know, he's one of those that wore the great big glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Great big glasses. I bet he could see out
everywhere. He could see to Detroit, looked like, with those things. Oh, me. What you looking for?
Well, we're looking for a baseball team, a great baseball team of Tullahoma Wildcats.
All right. John, I don't know if you're living out on the fringes of the city, and you may not.
I live in town now, Pat.
Well, you're out on the outskirts, though, and you may not. The information may not got all the way to you, but the mayor has set up a sports council, and the sports council is promote all sports in Tullahoma. One of the first things they're going to do, or have done, is they're going to set up a Hall of Fame. And I believe the first induction is going to be 12 teams or individuals that will be inducted, I think, February the 9th. But one of those teams, of 2 teams in the 12 inductees, is the 1974 State Baseball Championship at THS, which I think it was the first state championship team in Tullahoma at the high school level after Wallace Wade's pole state champion.
There wasn't a playoff, is what you're saying.
Correct.
There wasn't.
It was voted, and it was prep school, and some of them, I believe, some of them were post high school, and Tennessee Military Academy in Sweetwater used to be where somebody needed to brush up on his grades would take a postgraduate year. I think there were some of those at Fitzgerald Clark, but it wasn't a public school. It was a private
absolutely
school.
not.
But it's the first public school state championship that was won in Tullahoma. It was coached by Coach Mathis, Jerry Mathis, who was a legendary coach in Tullahoma. This was in 1974. The previous year in '73, he'd been a runner-up, and then later on he had another runner-up and another state championship team. I think that was about the time your son was playing,
That's when
too.
Chris and several others played.
Coach Revis's boy, Craig, there were several good players in there. But they had the '74 team had a lot of experience, he also played some sophomores that were vital contributors to that team. Let's talk about some of the players now, Philip, if you'll put that up. And
quit scratching, Pat.
But I've got off my thighs. I'm down to my shins now. Let's let's see here, John. Bill Brantner, who I believe is living in Moore County now, played third. Mike Howell, who had moved into town a couple years previous, was a really good athlete, good football player, real good punt returner. He played shortstop. Ronnie James was on second. Greg Hempkin, I believe when Jerry Farrell wasn't pitching, was on first. Jim Parrish was a catcher. Ricky Pless was a center fielder. And Tim Finch, I believe, was in right field with Joey Tuck in left field. And there were several other contributors in there. I think Jeff Pruitt played a lot. Dale Mosley pitched a lot. But now from that picture, let's see if we can't get this right. On the far left, and we're going to go from left to right, the first is Coach Mathis. Then was Mike Stamps. Brad Welch was a manager on that team. He's behind him, and then keep going. Mike Haynes, Greg Searcy, Mike Howell, Ronnie James, Bill Brantner, Jeff Pruitt, John Jarrett, Ricky Pless, Dale Mosley, JR or Jerry Farrah, Tim Finch, Joey Tuck, and that's Mr. McClure that's presenting the trophy. He was the principal at the high school at the time, and he was chairman of the board of control of TWSAA. He's an important part in the TWSAA. Then Jimmy Parrish, Bobby Riddell, Greg Hempkin, Butch Duke was another manager, I believe, and then Ted Frisbee on the right was assistant coach and a long-time physics teacher at the high school, and eventually, I believe, was on the school board in Coffee County.
Yep.
That state tournament was played in Tullahoma, and I believe there were 4 other teams involved. And I should have boned up a little bit more, but they played in pools, and then the winners of the pools played each other, and I believe it was the best out of 3, so you had to win 2 games. A lot of games, a lot of pitchers, and a lot of tired pitchers when it was over with, because J.R. Fair was voted by either the Tennessean or the Banner as the most valuable player in Middle Tennessee, including Nashville, which the Nashville papers pretty well ignore Lower Middle Tennessee now, but he was, and we had several people on the all mid-state and first, second, and third honorable mention, that type of thing at the time. But JR was a great pitcher, and he pitched at least 2 full games in 5 days, I believe it was. And then he finished up a little bit of the championship game. He pitched in the semis, which was his second game in 5 days, and they played Cookeville those last 2 games, beat them back-to-back. And the first game, JR struck out 12, walked none, and only gave up 4 hits. And they scored, or we scored rather, I believe, on air. I don't think it was an earned run. I may be wrong about that. I'm going to start scratching. Let me hold on to this. But at the end of the game, the last out that Cookeville had, they had a guy on third, and obviously the manager or coach thought that the man up at bat, there was 2 outs.
He was a weak batter?
He may have been a good batter, but he realized that JR was going to strike him out. So he had the runner on third, which was Stanley Shanks, and that's a big name in Cookeville. The Shanks, their father, I believe, was a school administrator, and his older brother was a real good player at Cookeville and was a great player at Motlow for Coach Revis. Well, anyway, Stanley's on third base, and the coach doesn't feel like it. Batter had much of a chance against Mr. Farah, and they tried to steal home. And Jimmy Parrish, we said, was the catcher. He blocked the plate. And the last out was at the plate, and I imagine mayhem broke out. But Tullahoma had to win another game, and JR is about out of gas. And I think in the championship game, both teams, of course, out of pretty low on pitchers. Joey Tuck started that game, and then he was relieved by Dale Mosley, and we had about a 2 or 3 run lead, and Dale started getting hit a little bit as he got tired, and Coach Mathis decided he was going, if he was going to get beat, he was going to get beat with
the best.
With the best he could, if there was anything left to the best, anyway. So Coach told me this a couple of months ago, that he went to the mound and asked Jerry how he felt. He said he thought he'd be all right. Let me warm up. He said he threw about 4 absolute flamethrowers, and then he kind of looked at Coach, and Coach was still asking for more, and he said, "Coach, the best thing you can do is just go sit in that dugout. I can take care of this." And he took care of the next 3 batters, struck them all out, and Tullahoma won the first state championship that they'd won.
Pat, we have mentioned JR quite a bit, but what did he tell you? And he told me the same thing. He had an aunt that saved, or maybe his mother, saved these clippings.
Yeah, they told my wife when he brought her to scrapbook.
And he said, "I want you to know that this team was not about me. It was about us together as a baseball team." And that's the humility that JR showed. And those other players, dynamite players.
They were all really good hitters. They hit all the way down the batting order. Pless was a great hitter.
Yeah.
Howell was a great hitter. Finch had 2 runs batted in one of those later games, according to the newspaper. They had a hitting lineup now.
One thing I remember is Franklin County was in our district. And by George, we had
as harder time in the district tournament as we did in the state
and Tullahoma at the district level against Franklin County started. I remember listening it on radio, Pat. I was too spoiled to go out that night, I guess. And
Did you say spoiled or cheap?
And they hit that ball. Tullahoma hit that ball, and they ran up a big lead on Franklin. And from that point on, it seemed like through the rest of the time till the finals of the state tournament.
They had a great team.
We're going to have to end up, Pat. Yeah. But this has been good talking about that team.
Let's dig on Coach Revis a little bit, just a second. Because the last night, the paid attendance at the finals was 1,432 paid, which was a state record.
Well, Coach Mathis loves to know that his team would make money.
Oh yeah, he's not opposed to making money. That broke the record. That was in '74. The previous record was also set in Tullahoma, and it was Coach Revis's Franklin County team that won the state championship. There wasn't but about 40 fewer. And I don't know if Mr. McClure and Coach Mathis snuck in an extra couple people there to make sure they set the record or not. But it was a great game and a great event for
Coach Mathis. Did a good job with those boys.
He certainly did,
and he was patient in lots of ways, and so we enjoyed that, Pat.
Well, thank you, John.
Good job.
And maybe if this goes well enough, maybe management will. We're setting kind of our sights are on segment 100. Maybe they'll bring us back and we'll have a little segment on every inductee of the Sports Hall of Fame.
Wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
That'd be good, Pat.
Yeah. All right, John, that wraps up segment 91, and it was a fine segment. But it's not the end of the segments. We hope if management will allow us to come back, we're coming. We got more stories. Thank y'all.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
I got a tour and I saw all the things and I was so excited about them. And she took me to the movie theater and it had red chairs. This is a done deal and I like it.
We have so many activities here that you just can't keep up with them all. We have exercise, we have coloring, we have crafts.
It's charming, it's attractive, it's very comfortable. It was one of the best decisions of my life.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right, no employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and this past weekend, Saturday morning, was the annual Walk, Run, and Ruck for the Grove Foundation at the high school, and that is a fundraiser for the Eli Grove Foundation. And what that foundation is for is Eli was an incredible young man who died too early in a car accident. He was training to go, he had a college scholarship in Alabama, not Alabama, the school, but he was going to another school down there.
In Alabama.
And he was training in up in the Franklin, Brentwood area, and was killed in a car wreck on the way home. Now,
tragic.
He had started design of a building, and he designed a building that could be built on the Tullahoma High School property that would be a workout facility like the one that he was going to up in Brentwood or Franklin.
He wanted to bring one home.
And not just for football players, but for all athletes searching to be better in their athletics. And of course, he had the plans drawn and died tragically in the car accident. And so the foundation is to raise money to build that building. And the Grove family, who has sold gelato over in the Coker building for years, and one of the only 2 businesses, small businesses in the state with the proper licensing to pasteurize.
Yeah.
most other people, they say, oh, this is homemade ice cream. This is made craft ice cream made from scratch. It's not. They buy the stuff in a container and they add flavor. And then they freeze it. They mix it and freeze it. She pasteurizes.
And she actually takes it from
takes it and
bottom up.
pasteurizes and creates her own base instead of buying it from somebody else.
Well, does part of that go to the?
Everything they sell goes toward the foundation.
That is
And
awesome.
she also makes, she doesn't sell it here. Of course, they did when they had the business up front in the Cokers. They sold sandwiches and pastries and stuff like that. But she goes to Leaper's Fork. She has a place in Leaper's Fork, which is a touristy place outside of Nashville, where she sells pimento cheese and
That's Loretta Lynn land, isn't it?
it's up in that area up there, yeah. And all the gelato, and she sells almost everything she can make up there. And all the money that's made from that goes to the Eli Grove Foundation.
That's beautiful.
And after all expenses, all the profit, she and Tony, Tony is a civil engineer in Nashville and has a quite good business there.
That's wonderful.
And so they're just wonderful people, and their young children have
So what
been.
if I want some gelato? Where is it we go to get it?
It's behind the Coker building on Wilson Avenue.
Okay.
The old Coca-Cola building.
Oh,
you go
not
behind
across the
it, and
street
there's a
anymore,
set
but
of business. There's a set of buildings. There used to be garages back there where they kept the Coca-Cola trucks.
Okay.
And in one of those, she has a facility there, and that's where she manufactures.
So if you want to buy some for your home, you go on Thursday?
You go in there on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Great.
And they have a little waffle cone with gelato on it that's about that tall, and it's lit, that they put up in the front yard of the Coker building when they're there.
When they're open.
When they're there.
Okay.
You just pull around to the back and get whatever you want. And so with all of that said, I went over to the Tullahoma High School track after we did the John Olive show this past Saturday and talked to Cassie about their event and just how happy she was that they had over 300 people participate.
Wonderful.
So, and if you don't know what running is, you know what walking is. If you don't know what rucking is,
I don't.
Rucking is what military people have to do to train. They have a rucksack, and that's what they carry all their equipment in. And so when military people, particularly infantry,
I didn't know what that was, but
infantry, see, when they're training to be in the infantry, if they have to run 5 miles, they don't get to do it in a pair of shorts and running shoes. They got to put all their equipment on their back, full gear, and that's what the ruck is they carry 75 pounds on their back and go through the course. And so there are people who come from out of state
to do this,
to participate in this.
That's
so it's amazing. So here's Cassie Grove. I love her. One of the sweetest, dearest people you'll ever want to be around. You can tell it by the smile on her face. It must be the Deckelman Express coming through town.
Hey,
right
man,
here.
You look good.
What are you doing?
You look good.
Are you running, walking, or rucking?
I'm not sure if you're the guy I think you are.
Me?
I'm walking and riding.
Walking and riding.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Where's this going?
Where's it going? Oh, well, you're live right now in New York. This is Saturday morning. Not Saturday night. This is Saturday morning, live in Tullahoma.
How you doing, John?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Just down here.
You look good. You look mobile.
Thank you. I'm mobile. I'm down here to check on Cassie and Tony and all these great people doing what they're doing for the Eli Grove Foundation.
I love them.
We're
Did you see it?
We're going to
We're
get a
doing
report.
yoga next year. As
Yes,
part
John,
of
we're
the-
going to do yoga next year.
Good. That's good.
I'm already pumped.
You're pumped.
I am. I do it right now.
That is an exact quote from the Deckel man.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm down at Tullahoma High School track. We just finished doing the John Olive fifth quarter show, and this is the Eli Grove annual run, walk, and ruck event at the high school track. to raise funds for the Eli Grove Foundation and to build a building, a training facility for all athletes at Tullahoma High School.
What's up, John?
All right, here's Cassie Grove right here. Tell us what's happening today.
Well, we're here at the Eli Grove Legacy 8K, and it's going great.
Going great. Seems like a lot of people are here. You've been
Yes.
at it since what, 8 o'clock?
Pretty much. Yes,
Yeah.
I was a little late this morning, so I created chaos.
Yeah, John Olive and I just got through doing the John Olive show, so I saw Coach over here checking things out, and I just wanted to get by and make sure we got a good report and everything's going well.
I'm pretty sure we're close to 300. I don't know the total number, so it's even more than last year. So I'm super excited for the community support.
Very good. And where's Tony?
He's around. I don't know. He may come to help grace
You
him with
just
the cold.
hide him every
Oh no, he's been
year.
right here. He's been right here until just a little while ago. So.
Okay. Well, Cassie, thank you for what you do, and thank the community for the support they're giving for something that is really wonderful, not just for football and not just for students, but for everybody in the community, a facility where people can train
That's right.
and take better care of themselves.
That's exactly right.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you.
You're the best.
Love you, Miss Fran.
All right, some of the folks are coming in off the trail now. They're playing cornhole and they're walking different ones, and Cassie's here getting ready to make some announcements, and no telling where Tony is, but this is to raise money for the Eli Grove Foundation and the building of a facility at Tullahoma High School for all sports. Look at those they're pretty. Oh, look at that lovely girl right there with the pom-poms. Isn't this great? The Run, Walk, and Ruck for Eli Grove Foundation.
Look at you, James Fuller. Somebody's coming up on you there.
There's a lot of them coming in on the finishing the run. And they're coming through the gate.
She ran yesterday? Yeah, I think she ran yesterday. Woo! Way to go!
Nice run, nice run.
They're starting to come in off the trail.
Good job.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. You know, they do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the Paintworks at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school.
A car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Pretty camera ladies this morning, appreciate y'all your good work and everything. And this is a special time of year that we all want to cherish and remember that November the 11th, I believe it was 1919, at the 11th hour when World War I hostilities came to a close, and we've tried to remember that and celebrate the peace and freedom. That, of course, that was the war to end all wars, which, of course, did not happen. But in 1921, I think Congress or whoever the powers that be designated November the 11th as Armistice Day, which meant the end of all hostilities and peace that was supposed to be forever. Well, at any rate, we've been blessed by having celebrations to honor those that made the supreme sacrifice that we might indeed have an Armistice Day to celebrate and the freedoms of our country. American Legion Post 43 was established, I believe, in 1921, maybe 1919, I'm not sure of the date, but the Memorial 39 means that they honored 39 soldiers and military people that were killed in World War I from Coffee County, and that's where it gets its name. And Post 43 has been here in Tullahoma for all these many years, and it's an honor to be part of a group that wants to help some of the veteran comrades that can't help themselves, that are wounded or ill, and we're grateful to the Veterans Administration for taking care of those people. Now, we want to point out that this Saturday here at the American Legion there's going to be a November 11th celebration that we can be a part of and to honor those. Let me point out a picture that was taken in November of the 11th, 1945. These were the first veterans that came home from the different services, and the American Legion Post and the World War I veterans hosted a dinner at the USO building on West Grundy Street, just 2 doors south west of the Tullahoma Municipal Building. And you can see in the background is the Learning Center, but there were some hundred or so World War II veterans that came and were honored that day. It's the first celebration as a group that were honored that came home in November of 1945. And as time, go ahead, Bob, and we've got some more pictures we want to share with you. This picture is of the American Legion band. American Legion Post 43 had a wonderful band, marching band that parade in state conventions and local conventions and won national honors. This particular picture was made in Chicago when they won the national championship of an American Legion marching band. We're proud of them. And back a few years ago, when we were in grade school in the 30s, on November the 11th, the whole school system would march up to Davidson Park and hear lectures and stories, and the bands would play, and they honored all of the veterans at that time, and then school was out for the rest of the day. The picture that you see now, I believe was, yes, this is Gate 1 of Camp Forest. I made that picture in 1941, and Camp Forest came and was here from 1941 to 1946, and many of those soldiers took part in the local veterans programs here in Tullahoma. We thought they were a bunch of old men, but the truth of the matter was that they weren't but a year or two older than we were. There were some 890,000 soldiers in the woods between Lebanon and Lawrenceburg and other places on maneuvers that were a real important part of our history. This picture is a little bit out of order, but it still has to do with our armed forces, and this is a picture of the arrival of President Truman in July of 1951 that came for the dedication of Arnold Center that was built on the same ground that the Army camp was, Camp Forest. And we enjoyed being there that day, and we're all looking forward to the 50th anniversary of Arnold Center next July. The program's planned for almost all year, and it's going to be a great show. Now, as we move right on, this is a picture of one of the USO. I believe this is a USO that's still standing just 2 doors south of the municipal building here in Tullahoma, and they had bands. Each unit of the Army out at Camp Forest had a band. They loved to play at the USO for dances and for entertainment, and they were a great group of people. Most of them were from bands out of Chicago, or big name bands. Now, as we go to the next picture, we want to emphasize that which one is? Oh, this is one of the other USOs at the corner of Moore and Jackson Street. It was the former Davis home, and Mr. Davis had been the ambassador at large and also International Red Cross president, and that was the ancestral home of the Davis. Beautiful building, and it's now been raised, and there's a law office at that location. But the USO buildings, the Catholic USO was on the spot where the Tullahoma School Administration building is now. It burned in 1949, and the colored USO building was down on the location where the Tullahoma Utilities Board is now. And the building that we just saw of the Davis home was the Traveler's Aid and the Jewish USO building. And I think we're just about right out of time, but it's been fun to share this with you, and we look forward to celebrating November the 11th here at the American Legion building at 11 o'clock. So if you can, come on out for that so we can honor those that should be honored. And in case of bad weather or rain, this program will take place at the C.D. Thamps Community Center on South Jackson. And this is not all of the story, because there's a lot more to come. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
What does caring look like? This is what caring looks like.
This is setting an example for others.
This is rising to the challenge.
This is doing what works.
This is doing my part.
This is doing your part.
Each of us individually.
Act
acting as one, keeping your distance, no matter how awkward it may seem.
This is wearing a mask.
Over your nose and mouth,
like we are.
Keeping our distance, each wearing masks.
Not under your chin.
Not above your head.
Not in your hand, but over your nose and mouth.
This is listening to the expert. If you'll just
wear one of these.
Caring makes community.
And this is what caring looks like.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
I feel like we're safe at Parkview.
There's somebody on staff all the time. So if you need help, help is there.
We are surrounded with people that are looking after us and taking care of us.
The staff is wonderful and always available. We feel so safe and secure here.
I feel safe at Parkview all the time.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and what we're going to do is we're going to run down the list. Friday night, Tullahoma High School football. We play Montgomery Central, second round of the playoffs. We win that. Oh, and Friday night also, Pearl Cone, who is second in our region, Montgomery Central was third in our region, is playing Hardin County on the other side, and Hardin County is number one, so if we beat Montgomery Central, we will play either Pearl Cone or Hardin County the next week.
And it'll be here.
And it'll be here. So give the Wildcats that support. You have no idea what these other coaches are saying about the environment in Tullahoma.
Right.
They're coming into this town and seeing a great stadium. They're seeing a well-kept facility. They're seeing the stands full of people and outstandingly incredible marching band.
Oh, yes,
Cheerleaders
absolutely.
that line the sidelines. The Marine Corps that's in part of this football game. They just don't, most of these kids don't see anything like that.
I know. And we're
They're
very
so
blessed.
impressed, and coaches, with what happens in Tullahoma. Be part of it. Come be in the stands with us. And then you've got
Young Artist Showcase.
Young Artist Showcase, that's on the
21st. And
Dr. Potts on the 20th at South Jackson.
And Sound of Music this weekend.
At
And
South Jackson.
Don't forget Veterans Day.
Don't forget Veterans Day. And then we've got this weekend at the high school, we've got 12 Angry Jurors.
All kinds of stuff.
There's
going on.
stuff happening, folks. You know a veteran, thank a veteran.
Exactly.
You are a veteran or not a veteran, you are welcome to come to the veteran celebration at 11 o'clock Thursday at South
South
Jackson Civic Center. Show your support.
I'd come a little bit before 11, make sure you got a
Right.
seat.
Show your
Yeah.
support to those who stood the wall where you can celebrate the freedoms we have in this country. And with that, we're going to tell them goodbye.
Oh,
all right? We'll see you next time.
Let's get going now.
Took a 911 about 107 down the back road, where the wide river rolls and the southern sun make the club to go. And what I found in the Ozark Mountains I ain't never seen. It sure does feel like it's sitting on top of the world to me. Gotta get down to Arkansas. Having so much fun that it's probably a little bit against the law. Otherwise, it goes down there looking so hard to have a ball. If you wanna get down